Hi guys, this is CV axle I have just removed from Peugeot 307SW from 2005, and you will find a very similar design in different kind of Peugeot models and Citroen models as well as other cars. And in this video I'm going to show you how to remove CV joint from CV axle. As you see, I have already started to remove the smaller boot clamp. You can use either pincers or a hacksaw to remove it. I removed the smaller one with pincers, and since I had two different types, I couldn't do that with large one, so I used hacksaw. Both boot clamps are made of stainless steel, so you'll need to use some time to cut through. And you don't need to worry about damaging the boot, because when you order a new CV joint, you usually get a set together with two clamps, new boot, and a metal ring that I'll show you afterwards. And it either comes with grease in a separate package, or you have it already greased and then capped with a piece of plastic to hold the grease in place during transportation. And that's how the larger clamp looks like. Next, you need to take something sharp and cut through the rubber boot to remove it. And if you see no puncture on the boot, it means that it's filled with grease, so it's always a good idea to take some paper towels and put it underneath the axle while you do that. And it's just to keep your workshop nice and clean. Once you have removed the boot, take some more paper towels and clean the inside of the CV joint, or at least remove as much of the grease as possible, because it will allow you to see more and make the rest of the job much easier. And this is how the CV joint works. Shaft is located inside the bearing hub, and at the end of the shaft there's a special groove for the metal ring that locks it to the bearing hub. I will show you that afterwards. Bearing hub carries 6 bolts, which are then locked in a bearing cage. All this is located inside the joint housing and then covered by the boot. This design allows momentum to be transferred from the gearbox through the shaft to the wheel at a variety of angles. Next, we need to free the bolts from the bearing cage, and for that job you will need a face mask, a chisel and a hammer. If you have a heavy-duty vise, you will need to use that. I don't, so I have asked my friend to hold the axle in place. And what we need to do is to get rid of the part of the bearing cage that prevents the bolts from falling out of CV joint. It takes some time to do that, so sit back, relax and see the whole process. Once you remove 3 bolts next to each other on one side of the CV joint, you will be able to position the CV joint at an angle that will allow you to remove 3 remaining bolts without breaking any more pieces of the cage. When you have removed all the bolts, you simply twist and turn on the joint housing until it separates from the axle. Obviously, there's some more cleaning to be done on the axle, and this is how the bearing cage looks like. And the housing. So what's left is the bearing hub, but as simple as it sounds, you can't just pull it off the shaft, and that's because of the metal ring located in the groove at the end of the shaft. and you don't get the access to the ring even when you have removed the whole joint housing and the bearing cage. So instead, we're going to make 3 straight cuts along the axis of the bearing hub, separated by 120-degree angle from each other. And afterwards, we're going to break the bearing hub off. If you're not sure whether the cut is going to be too deep, it's better to stop before and inspect it, because you risk damaging the teeth on the shaft. Now that the cutting is finished, you take the hammer or another tool of your choice and you put it in one of the grooves. And you will hit on the top of the hammer with another hammer and use it as a separator to break the hub off. After the first part of the hub breaks off, you will need to use some distance plate under the remaining parts of the hub to prevent damaging your shaft. It usually takes one good hit to break off the hub. Now that the hub is off, you can see the metal ring that prevented the hub to be pulled off the shaft. As tiny as it looks, it's pretty strong, so the last operation, apart from cleaning your shaft, is to remove the ring. And remember that for cutting, grinding and this kind of activities, you at least need face protection. The more protective equipment, the better for you, but apart from the mask, I will strongly advise you to use special gloves for cutting, because the metal particles that spray all over your hands are extremely hot. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like if you did, and if you'd like to see more Peugeot 307 mechanics, check my channel out, I've got plenty of videos about this car, and good luck with your Peugeot!